Hey folks, Russ Matney. Hey, today I'm going to be putting in a ceiling fan and I'm going to show you how to do it. So stick around and I'll teach you. Okay, first thing you got to do is you got to find your power source. Now, this is a little bit surprising to me. So I've got all three switches in the off position, but I've got power going on here. So, and this house is built in the late 80s, and this has you can hear, this has a power source, a constant power source. So that means in this case, I've got to find the breaker. If you're changing a ceiling fan and it's controlled by switches like that, then you don't have to kill it at the breaker. You just have to turn the switch off. But in this case, I've got to find the breaker and I've got to kill it. Okay, so I've found the breaker. Now what I use to check is, it's from Home Depot, about 15 or 20 bucks. And what was buzzing a while ago is no longer buzzing. So I found the breaker, it kills the power. Now the easiest way is, if you've got a ceiling fan already hanging here, then just turn the ceiling fan on or the light on, and then find your switch that kills it, and then you're good to go. Or if you have to find the breaker, find your breaker. And then once the light goes off or the ceiling fan goes off, then you're safe to work. Okay, the next thing to do is to look in your fan box and find this bracket. Actually, just follow the instructions, but I'm gonna show you, we're gonna install this. And then once I get this installed, this is the bracket that the fan hangs on, then I'm gonna break away, and I'm not gonna show you how I put the ceiling fan together because you're just gonna have to follow directions. And then I'll put the ceiling fan together and then I'll show you how to hang it and wire it up. Okay, so we've installed this bracket. Very important that this is extremely tight. And in this case, this does not have an electric box. Because this has you can probably see it, but there's some wood going up here. You got a stud that goes all the way across. So these screws go up into the stud. If you have electric boxes, make sure that this gets really tight. Okay, then from there, you've got a white wire, which is the common. You got the copper wire, which is the ground. You've got, in this case, we've got a black wire coming out of the ceiling, and we've got a red wire. Okay, this one's gonna be on a remote, so it's only gotta have one power source. So we're gonna put the black, it's capped off. We're just gonna put it back up in the ceiling. Like that, kind of. And we're gonna connect it to the red. So the red is gonna be a hot wire, and then I'll show you how to connect it here in a bit. Okay, so we've got our bracket up. I put the fan together, all except the light. So that's the way that I like to do it. I like to build the fan down on the floor and then bring it up and install it. So we're gonna hang it the way that it's called for by the instructions. And this is really important also. Once you get this in, you gotta turn it and make sure that it locks into place, just like that. So now it's locked into place. And then we'll wire it. Okay, next thing to do is to take your transmitter from your box for your remote and fit it in. And it's not the easiest thing to fit in. They don't leave you just a whole lot of room. You put it in just like that. And then from there, I like this one, they've made it easier. You have a white, black, and blue from the fan connect to your white, black, and blue here, and it's a quick connect, so I like that, and connect these two. You're gonna take all your greens and you're gonna connect them to your copper, and then in the white from the ceiling is gonna connect to white on the other side of this transmitter. So it'll be white to white. And then on the transmitter, you're gonna have a black and a red. Now, this is where it's gonna be different. So if you've got two switches on the wall, one will be for the black that'll control the light, and it will connect to the black out of the wall. And the red will be for the ceiling fan, and it'll connect to this red out of the wall. But in this case, it's on a remote, So I'm gonna put both of these from the transmitter, the black and the red are gonna connect to this red, all right? Okay, just to review this, I'll show you what I did. So I've got two greens that connect to the copper, all right? I've got, from the ceiling, there's a white. This is a white from the ceiling. It connects to the white on the transmitter. Now, and you need to follow the instructions, but it'll tell you all of that. Okay, also in the ceiling, we had a black and a red. The black we capped off and put it back in the ceiling. We're going with the red. And we're gonna connect the red and the black from the transmitter all to the red from the ceiling. All right, I'm gonna show you this too. Some of you may not be familiar. These are called wire nuts. This is how they work. You just try and do this with one hand, not the easiest thing. Ouch, it stuck me. We're gonna try this and see if I can do it. Put them in there and then you just twist. That should have done it. All right, and that'll do it. And then just tug it a little bit, make sure you got a good connection. All right, so from there we should be good. Oh, we have to put the light fixture on. I always leave that off because the weight from the ceiling fan, I don't like having my hand when I'm installing the ceiling fan on the light fixture. I'm afraid it'll break. So I'll wait and put that on last. So, and just read the instructions. It's got a wire right here. I'm gonna connect and then twist it on. And then we should be good. We're gonna put what is it? Not the transmitter, the remote. I'm sorry, the remote together. And we'll try it out. All right, the power is back on. Let's give it a shot with the remote. This should turn the fan on. Hot dog. And this should turn the light on. Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna show you now that I always do this too. Before you put that cap on at the top, test it before you put the cap on, because the cap's not very easy to do. You got all those wires to contend with. So check it before you put the cap on. Now that we know it's working, then I'm gonna turn this power off, or not the power, but I'm gonna turn the fan and the light off, like so. And then I'll show you how to put that cap on. All right, let's put this cap on, which sometimes is like the hardest part of this job because you got all these wires to contend with. But what needs to happen, you're gonna take all these wires, just push them in here, like so. And then this is supposed to fit nice and neat. Let's see. I may be blocking a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay, now that I've got that, let me show you something. Most of the times, with the ceiling fan, they'll send you a little bitty screwdriver like this. It's a Phillips head, it's about 1.5 inches. This one did not, but I had this out in the truck. So, got two little screws here that I'm gonna tighten up as much as I can. And then once that happens, then I'm done. This is a little magnetic cap that goes over the top like that. All right? And that's a wrap, folks. Hey, ceiling fans are not that difficult. They're more intimidating than anything, but you can follow the instructions. What I wanted to do on this video is show you some tips. Make sure that bracket is real tight. Make sure that once you get the ceiling fan in place, you twist it until it drops in like it's supposed to. And the wiring can be a little bit different. In this case, this wiring was hot from the ceiling, so I had to kill the breaker. But in most cases, you're gonna have a red and a black like you had in this one. And that means you're gonna have two switches. One switch on the wall, which controls the black, which controls the light. And so your black will connect with black. and then another switch that has the red. The red will connect with red. But in this case, I wanted to show you how to hang the ceiling fan and kind of show you some tips to it. Give it a shot. If you need my help, give me a call. See ya.